All right. So truth be told, I came into the office this morning. I was not feeling well. I literally rolled out of bed and just wore my pajamas to the office. I'm still here. It is the middle of the night where I'm at in Kansas. It's about 2:30 in the morning. But, being that I wasn't feeling very well, I kind of slept off and on for the day. And I've been at my office pretty much all day, but I got a nice, comfortable couch here. So if I want to go take a nap, I do. And just something about the night, right? Where it's the calmness. I'm just a night person. I can think the best at night. I can think the clearest. I do the best work, uh, the best market analysis. And guys, I'm going to double down right now. I'm going to tell you that this may be one of the most important videos of 2021. It might be one of the most important videos to change your financial life. But I'm doubling down on Bitcoin Cash. And I'm going to show you why in just a moment. And I think once you see this, you'll probably realize the importance and significance of this. Guys, I truly believe that Bitcoin Cash is going to, I've called for it to go on this next run to probably 7K to 12,000. It could push as high as 16,000. I do believe it's going to go on a monster, and I mean a monster run. I believe that in the coming weeks, you're going to hear the world that'll start talking about Bitcoin Cash. And there's just a lot of indicators out there, a lot of stuff. There's the technical analysis, there's the fundamental, everything's really lining up. And quite frankly, this move that was down in the Bitcoin market, China's doing a lot to influence the market. There's a lot of inside manipulation going on. And the more I look at Bitcoin Cash and the more I look at everything behind it, I'm just like, this is where you want to be, as far as your main, I guess, portfolio position, in my opinion. And I should make this clear. This is not financial advice. This is my own market analysis. I need to make sure I give that disclaimer. But quite frankly, Bitcoin Cash is a better coin than Bitcoin. It's got bigger block sizes. It can send more data. Not only does it have bigger block sizes, you can transact in it much faster than Bitcoin, and the transaction fees to transact are a lot less expensive than Bitcoin. And really, the reason that Bitcoin has so much ground is because it's kind of the granddaddy of them all, right? It was the first out of the gate. It was the first one to really invent the cryptocurrency market. And you look back at the .com, we saw the dawn of the internet, right? At the turn of the millennium. We saw all these companies come out. We saw Yahoo. Yahoo's still around. They do all right. We saw all these other companies, Excite and Lycos, and we saw the iWin. You probably remember some of these exchanges from a couple of decades ago. But they weren't the ones that won the race. There was somebody that came out much later, and that company is the one that won the .com race, and we all know them today. It's, of course, Google, right? So I think that the reason that Bitcoin Cash really hasn't caught on yet is because the masses aren't aware of it yet. And the more I look at these charts, the more I look at technicals, the more I like it. I'm a firm believer that the sine wave in trading, the flow of the chart, it's really the sine wave. Everything operates on a sine wave. A trading chart, a brain wave, a heart wave, everything operates on this wave, right? It starts at zero, it eventually ends back up at zero. That's the lifespan. And I'm a firm believer that it's really God's blueprint for what's going to happen, not only in life and in the world, but in the market. And I believe that over the coming weeks, I think there's probably going to be some major news come out on Bitcoin Cash. It might be a financial institution that draws attention, a large financial institution that says, hey, we're going to put our institutional money in Bitcoin Cash because it's a better coin than Bitcoin. Bigger block sizes, we can send more data, we can transact faster, we can, the fees to transact aren't as expensive, and we're going to hedge our bet here on Bitcoin Cash. And I think that's coming. I think that that's coming to draw a lot of awareness. But let me go ahead. I want to share my screen so you guys can see, a little bit about what I'm looking at on Bitcoin Cash, because, I was sleeping there for a little bit, and I woke up, and I'm still at the office, of course, because I haven't been feeling well today. So I'm doing the market analysis now as we speak. And I want to show you guys kind of the technical charts, and then I want to show you the fundamentals to this. Everything operates, of course, on what's called a Satoshi value. Satoshi value is the price in relation to Bitcoin. Now, we saw Bitcoin Cash take a big dive the other day. But what's interesting is the dive that it took back on the Bitcoin charts. All it did was come down and hit the correction. If we look right here, this is the Bitcoin charts. This is on the week chart, okay? The longer time frame chart you have, the more accurate it's going to be. And this is a very long time frame chart. Every one of these candlesticks represents a week. There's a lot of data in between each one of these candlesticks. But if we look at what Bitcoin Cash did just yesterday, and I'm going to get my drawing tool out here, if it'll let me draw. Let's see here. Let me go to annotate. We're going to look at this here. And you know what? I'm not even sharing the right screen. So I've got to come back up with the right screen. Let me share. I have multiple screens here. So if we look at Bitcoin Cash, guys, and we look at the Satoshi value, okay, the price in relation to Bitcoin, you're going to see that right here is the support on the week chart. Look where it came back to. It nailed the top of that support to a T and is bouncing up. This is really, really good support right here on a week chart on the Satoshi value of Bitcoin Cash. In fact, if I line my cursor up, you're going to see that those line up almost perfectly. You see it dropped a little bit lower, but not much, not much. It also came back. Remember, every red candlestick comes back to a red candlestick. It's not a matter of when it'll come back. It's a matter of if, because everything starts at zero and ends at zero. Now, it may not end at zero in our lifetime, but you got to keep that in mind. A sine wave in trading is no different than a brain wave or a heart wave, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Everything starts at zero, everything ends at zero. So every red candlestick does come back and hit a previous red candlestick. But the more profound the peak, the greater a chance that it's going to come back and hit that sooner. And if we look, this is a pretty profound support area. And that's exactly where we came back on the Satoshi value of Bitcoin Cash. This is really, really interesting. Could we go down here? Yeah, we could go down there. But, these are real minor corrections in the scheme of things. If you look, though, let me zoom out of this chart, and you're going to see something pretty incredible here that's starting to line up. And guys, many of you guys know, I call Dogecoin, okay? Now, I'm not recommending to be in Dogecoin right now, but I called Dogecoin long before Elon Musk, long before anybody else called it. And do you know why I called it? And I said it's going to have a big up. Because Dogecoin hit the correction on the month chart, the week chart, the day chart. I mean, every correction it could hit, Dogecoin had hit it. And I was like, this is just waiting to explode. And we waited weeks, and it finally took off. And we all know what happened. But if you look here at Bitcoin Cash, look at this. You've got these 3 descending peaks, and they're all pretty equal distance apart. You see that? All pretty equal distance apart. And they've all had that time frame. They're all fairly decent distance, about the same distance. And usually what happens when you get these three descending peaks like this, you'll go back down and you'll tap support. You'll tap the red candlestick. And all these candlesticks here could be one solid candlestick. Okay. In a longer time frame, they're going to be one solid candlestick. If we were to look at a month chart, you're going to see, you're not going to see all these other little candlesticks. So when you see these series of red candlesticks, you can take them all as one. And that's exactly where we went back to hit. We went back and we hit this area. So you usually get these three descending peaks. You pull back, you hit support, and my gosh, there's a really good chance that this is going to blast off way, way, way up the charts. I mean, some really good areas on the Satoshi value for this to come to is, right in here. We see these two peaks here. We could see a third one about equal distance right here at the bottom of this green one. I mean, at the bottom of that green one, that's 0.12 of a Bitcoin. If Bitcoin Cash was at 0.12 right now and Bitcoin was at 40,000, the value for Bitcoin Cash, 12% of 40, it'd be about $4,800 on the dollar amount, just to let you know. Even if Bitcoin went down to 20,000 and we were at 0.12, the value would still be about $2,400, $2,400 if we came up in this territory. But we're really seeing this. We've seen this pattern. We've seen this trickle down. This is where you usually get this explosion up. And we've seen this third peak form, pull back. And I believe we're going to see this thing just obliterate up the chart. I think we're going to see this really just murder its way up the chart. It could go up significantly. There's no limit to where this could go. On the Satoshi value, you could see it come here. We could see it come here. I mean, the sky is really the limit. This is shaping up to be very, very nice trade. And, you start looking at the Satoshi value, and then you start looking at the dollar value of where Bitcoin Cash could go. Let me pull up the dollar value. We're going to see here a few days ago, about a week or so ago, it went up to around $1,650, pulled all the way back down to about $500. But you can see this is hitting the corrections on the day chart too. It came right back down to this peak right here. That's exactly where we hit. We hit the top of this peak. We're coming back up. We're going on to form kind of this bull shape. I think we're going to see this bust up. And I think we're going to see this bust up significantly. I mean, you see these two ups here. If you look at the distance between these two and you add it on to the top of here, it puts Bitcoin Cash somewhere around 7,000. Now, that being said, I think we could even see it go higher, because a general rule of thumb, sometimes when you clear the top, a lot of times you'll go up 3 to 4x on the next high. So if we take 3 to 4x of $4,000, guys, we're at $12,000 to $16,000 on Bitcoin Cash. Very real possibility, once this busts up. It's not going to do it overnight, of course, but it could do it rather fairly quickly. And so you see how this came down, and it just made a beautiful correction right here. It really did. Let me put my cursor in. See how it just nailed the top of this peak right here. This peak right here, we nailed the top and we came back. We're coming back up. Okay. This has a lot of room, guys, a lot of room to rumble. And then we look at the Satoshi value to Bitcoin. My gosh, guys, I think this is lining up to be pretty spectacular. Now let's go look at the fundamentals, though, of Bitcoin Cash. Let's look at the fundamentals. You'd be interested to know a few different things. This is the number of transactions today that Bitcoin has had. Bitcoin's had 263,419 transactions for May 19th. If we look at the transactions of Bitcoin Cash, guys, they're really not that far behind in the scheme of things. The transaction amount of Bitcoin Cash, the number of transactions, has had 108,290. Bitcoin Cash and the way people are transacting in it is gaining ground on Bitcoin, and it's silently doing it. A lot of people don't even have a clue that this is going on. But I want to draw your awareness to this because I think it's really important for you guys to see. You know, I like to see my friends benefit. I like to see good people benefit. I don't, you know, I don't like to see the guys that are already the wealthy elite, the Elon Musk. I don't like to see those guys benefit. I like to see the little guy win. You know, I always say that I'm a product of nothing, but by the grace of God, I am something. And I'm very, very fortunate to be where I'm at in life, but I've never, ever forgot where I came from, and I never, ever will. I never will forget that. And I want to see you guys be able to win alongside me. Now, we look at these transactions and we're seeing how these transactions are, you know, gaining a little ground. Let's look at the fundamentals. Here's an article: Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin. Can Bitcoin Cash make up ground in 2021? And I'm just going to read you the first paragraph here, and you guys can research it a little bit more. Another bout of discord and disagreement within the Bitcoin Cash community has continued to affect the Bitcoin Cash price performance. 2 years on from the Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin SV hard fork drama, Bitcoin Cash is forked again. Where is Bitcoin Cash in terms of its goal to be a better Bitcoin, and where does it go from here? And it goes on to talk about, I think this is really cool. 3 years on from its original hard fork from Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash remains a top 10 cryptocurrency. While the Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin argument has cooled, it is yet to be definitively settled. Has Bitcoin Cash achieved what it is set out to do? Guys, you start looking a little bit more in depth and you start looking at the transactions that are going on. Bitcoin Cash transactions intensify. Daily count nears Bitcoin. You start looking at all these little things. And, you know, many of you guys who have been following me know that I call something a lot of times way before the trend ever happens, way before the masses get involved. The time to get involved is during those times, before the masses get involved, before the trend takes place. And, you know, I really believe the time to get involved with Bitcoin Cash is really right now. It's not, you know, in the next few weeks and the next few months, you're going to hear people talking about Bitcoin Cash, just like when I called Doge. Nobody was talking about Doge, but in the next few months, in the next few weeks, you heard a lot of people talking about Doge. Guys, I'm looking at the fundamentals. I'm looking at the technicals of this, and this is just all lining up. You know, we go down, kind of skim through this article, and we look at the transactions that of Bitcoin Cash versus Bitcoin. At the time of writing, and this was done a few weeks ago. It was actually done a few months ago. Okay, this article is from January 31st, 2021. So the very last day of January in 2021. And it says at the time of writing, on-chain data shows that Bitcoin Cash chain processed 280,000 transactions during the last 24 hours, while Bitcoin had processed 334,793 in that same time. This shows that Bitcoin is handling 3.87 transactions per second, while Bitcoin Cash does 3.26 at this transaction rate. So this goes on and it talks about Bitcoin Cash, the transactions that are taking place versus Bitcoin. This is all, guys, this is silently going on. This is stuff that you have to dig for. You're not going to find. You're so caught up in the drama of the news, or as some people call the fake news, right? You're so caught up in the drama of what's going on and what Grayscale's doing and what Elon Musk is doing and what this guy's doing and that guy. When you should be gathering this data, this is valuable data. This is how you win in the market. The same throughput, but still 0.001 transaction fees for Bitcoin Cash. Cool. This talks about how the transaction fees are much less with Bitcoin Cash. And it just sheds a lot of light, gives a lot of different, a lot of different things about Bitcoin Cash. And like I said, a lot of stuff's lining up, and this looks like it's just waiting for a large institutional money to draw awareness to it. Now, do you want to be in front of the trend before that happens, or do you want to be behind the trend after that happens and go buy it at a much higher price, I should say? I mean, it's your call. Furthermore, guys, there's a site out there that many of you guys don't even know about. It's called Coin Fair Value. I'm going to turn you on to a site right now. Okay, coinfairvalue.com. Coinfairvalue.com. FAIR value.com. Coinfairvalue.com. And what Coin Fair Value does is they don't speculate. They give the value of a cryptocurrency based on its transactional data and many different many different things. Okay, but it's based on actual data. It's based on its true transactional value. And if you look here, almost every cryptocurrency is overvalued. Even after the dip, it's overvalued. You look at Bitcoin, for instance. The coin fair value price is $10,700, yet we're at $40,000. But what's really interesting is you come down here to Bitcoin Cash, it's at 809 as we're speaking, and the coin fair value has it at $1,510. Now you look at almost all these other currencies and you look at where they are in relation to the coin fair value, a lot of times they're 3, 4, 5 times higher. I mean, if we go 3, 4, 5 times higher than 1,500, where does that put Bitcoin Cash? It's interesting, right? That puts it maybe somewhere around that 7K mark, 7, possibly 12 to 16K. And that's not even taken into account if a financial institution draws awareness and there's more transactions that go through Bitcoin Cash, how much more valuable is it going to become? And then you've got the excitement, right? You got the excitement when something starts busting up the chart and people just start piling in. You guys, like I said, this may be one of the most important videos that you guys see in 2021. And I'm doing it in my office, in my pajamas, not feeling well today, in the middle of the night at 2:30 in the morning. Actually, it's 3 in the morning now. So, it's something that you guys should really take seriously. I felt strong enough to be able to come on in the middle of the night, not feeling well, in my pajamas to really deliver this message to you, because I want to see you guys win. But, I truly believe that there's something there with Bitcoin Cash. I truly believe we're going to see it do some amazing things. I think we're getting ready to see this make one big epic move up the charts. And, where could this come from here? Could it go lower? Guys, it could go lower. That potential is always there in the market. There is a little correction down here. I've said it all along. You see this correction, this little peak down here? We could see it come down here. We could see it slam down there on a flash crash. We could see the market have one big dive down again, and it comes down there on a flash crash. We could see Bitcoin go down to 20,000, maybe even, 12 or 14,000 on a really quick crash down and back up. That is possible. And what do? You manage your risk, you manage accordingly. If it was me and I was in your shoes, I get the majority of my position in Bitcoin Cash now, but I would still have a buy down there just in case it did come down there. And we look at what this level is. Let me zoom in on this some more. It's about $330 to $350. So if it did want to make one more big correction down, one more flash crash, maybe come up here and curve around and come back down, that potential is there. Okay. So I don't want you, if for some odd reason that happens, oh, Dwayne said it would go up from here. What I'm saying is, I believe it's getting ready to make a big move. There's a very highly probable chance it makes a big move here. There is a small chance that it slams down and then comes back up. But either way we go, I think that Bitcoin Cash is set to make one epic mother what and move. Right? I think we're going to see this make an epic move, and I just want you guys to be able to benefit. So with that, I hope you got some value from this. Have a great night. I'm going to try to go rest a little bit more, see if I can start feeling maybe better, but let's see what it does. Let's see what it does over the coming days and over the coming weeks. Have a good night, everyone. Until next time. Bye now.